Hello, my name is Megan Gubaza, and this is my introduction video. So to begin with some just brief biographical information, first, my name is Megan Gubaza. I am 26 years old. I am a teacher in my soon-to-be third year of teaching, and I'm currently engaged, and I'm getting married August 15th, 2020. Hopefully, as of right now, I am, but we'll see what happens. I own a 10-month-old puppy. He's a Bernedoodle, and his name is Drogo. The name is from Game of Thrones. I expected a lot more people to know that, and nobody ever really does, so I figured I would put that in there. And then I have 8 nieces and nephews. So this is me. This is obviously my dog. And here are my nieces and nephews. Here is Charlie. This is Evelyn. This is Eloise. This is Ryan. This is Rosemary, Danny, Matthew, and then Timothy. I'm going to move myself. So just some biographical information. Continued for my education, I attended and graduated from Westchester University in 2016 with a degree in secondary education with a concentration in English writing. I started at Westchester, ended at Westchester. I graduated in 4.5 years because of my student teaching. I did it extra half of a year or an extra semester, I guess. Some hobbies. I really, really, really enjoy watching Philadelphia sports. Unfortunately, right now, I cannot do that. I'm very excited for the return of baseball. Go Phillies. I love going to the beach. I live at the beach in the summer. So, well, obviously not yet, but next week I'll be moving down. Interior decorating. I just bought a house, so I've been really interested in interior decorating. Whether or not I can afford things is a different question, but I like conceptualizing ideas in my head, and then eventually being able to afford them. And I also like to write. I've been getting more and more serious about it. It's always been something that I've done, but now I think it's something that I am really considering actually doing something with. So writing is a big thing for me. And then the answer to the question that was included in the um, graded assignments page, if I could go anywhere with anyone. So when I would go to 1995, I was born in 1993, but I didn't really get to experience the 90s because I was an infant, obviously. So I would really like to go back at the age that I am now and really kind of experience the 90s and be a part of them as an adult. Where Los Angeles, I just love California, so I feel like I would love to live in or to go to California, Los Angeles specifically at this time. I feel like pop culture was really interesting during that time, so I think Los Angeles would be cool. With who? Chris Farley, and this might be something that is confusing. This has been the answer to this question for me since I was probably like 16 years old. Anytime anyone asked me this question, it was always Chris Farley. When I was younger, it was obviously because I find him hilarious. And every time I said Chris Farley, people would answer by saying, like, he was really not necessarily responsible, I guess you could say. He was into drugs and all of that kind of stuff. So that would always be people's response. And that would always be something that I would be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. But it never really swayed my decision because I always found him hilarious. But now, as a future counselor, I'm actually more inclined to speak with him for those reasons. So about what his career, obviously, that was the main reason why I've always picked him. I think he's funny. I love his career. I think every movie that he was in, whether it was a blockbuster hit or not, was amazing. I love all of them. I would also want to discuss with him his issues with mental health, drug abuse, dealing with fame, and his persona. So issues with mental health, obviously, he died from a drug overdose, but then it kind of came out that he was suffering from very serious issues of depression. And hearing about that was so interesting to me. I don't mean to make him sound like an experiment, but it was interesting because when you saw him on screen, you never really got that. You always got that he was this big funny guy who everybody loved. So that idea of him dealing with depression is something that is really interesting to me. His drug abuse, obviously, what led to the drug abuse, all of that kind of stuff. And again, in this question, I'm assuming that the person I'm talking to is going to divulge this information to me. There's not going to be any like uncomfortability, but obviously, if there were, I wouldn't be bringing up these issues. But his drug abuse, I would want to understand. I would want to understand the triggers of it. Talk to him about why he abused drugs. Some of the things that um, the things that kind of led him to abuse drugs, and then dealing with his fame. Being that big, funny guy, I'm assuming was probably part of the reason why he became depressed. Not having, uh, not being able to kind of leave that persona. So again, with that, his persona, that person that he always was, the big funny guy. How did he deal with that? Was it something that he enjoyed? Was it something that kind of led to more negative consequences? Those are kind of things that I would really want to talk to him about. I'm not sure if I was allowed to pick somebody who is deceased, but this was always the answer to that question. And my reasons for this, as I grow older, have become more complicated rather than just I think he's funny. So I definitely think that he would be somebody that I would really, really enjoy talking to, not just because I admire his career and his comedic genius, but also because of the fact that he obviously was a very broken person who was really dealing with a lot while being in the spotlight. Um, so yeah, that is my introduction. I really look forward to participating in this class and talking about effective communication. I think communication is really important in all aspects of every career choice. So yeah, I'm very excited. And here's my dog right now. Come here, buddy. All right. Goodbye.